Hello, everyone. Eilers-Heffner here, Sapphire Ambassador. I'm here with my friend Emily Thomas, and she is a new Fast Start Gold um, ambassador, and we are here to bring you chapters 13 and 14 from the 21 irrefutable laws of leadership. So, Emily, do you want to introduce yourself really quickly, and then I'll start us out with chapter 13.
Yes, I am Emily Thomas, and I am a newly minted gold ambassador. And I'm just super excited to be here with you guys and have every hope that my toddler is not going to get through a locked door.
Yes, mine have all been trained over here. So I was really excited to be leading this chapter. I was actually supposed to lead last week, and then there was some switching around, and then I jumped on with Rochelle, but last week was supposed to be my week. And then ending up talking about the law of the picture here, I was like, okay, I definitely have some things to work on, but my personality definitely, and my goal is to always present and act and lead and be a strong leader of myself, and then able to pass that on to you as my team. So as a physical therapist, I have always thought, if you're coming to my clinic, either when I worked pediatrics or outpatient, the patients come, they see you, you give them exercise, you help them, and then you send them home. And as well as in the hospital setting. So currently I'm working more in a hospital setting, but my mentality has always been, if I can't do something with you that you, one, couldn't do on your own at home, two, do with other staff, like a nurse or an aide or, a family member, then what service am I really providing and offering? So I've always held myself to a high standard as a physical therapist, that I have to be doing something that you are coming to me for. Not just, I never wanted to be a therapist that was like, okay, come in, ride the bike, do this exercise, go home. So I always wanted to provide some manual therapy, something very skilled and very specific. Or with pediatrics, like really, really getting in there and teaching the parents and adding new things, right, that they could benefit through at home through the week that I wasn't seeing them. And then, of course, in the hospital setting, that I need to provide an appropriate challenge. I need to be progressing people beyond something that other staff members can do. So I've always thought of that. And Melissa and I were just talking about this recently. And so as a Plexus ambassador, I want to provide to not only my customers something that they can't get somewhere else, but also my team working under me. I want to provide to them, I want to add value to them as frequently as I can. So helping to problem solve, helping to challenge them in an appropriate way to go to that next level themselves. And as an Enneagram 1, I'm very hard on myself, that when I don't feel that I'm leading myself well, I'm the first to beat myself up over it, so to speak. So I definitely love this. I just was like, oh my goodness, more is caught than taught, as I'm like telling my child, go help Emmeline, but don't yell, just go in there calmly. And I'm like, because I'm at fault. I'm over here. This week was tough. I'm like, you guys, it's so nice out. Do you understand that if you just get this schoolwork done, you can go outside and play? We can go to the park, Here I am, like, and then I'm telling them the next minute, like, hey, just go help her calmly. Don't freak out over there, So I'm definitely feeling convicted in this manner. And as well as with my team, like the other day in our IPA chat last week, I'm like, you guys, I've been working. I just haven't gotten in the IPA chat and said I have done it. And what am I supposed to do as a leader? I'm supposed to lead myself well. I'm supposed to be the first one saying that I've done my IPA. And I'm supposed to hold myself to that higher standard. So definitely, like, that is such a huge, huge impact. And it's okay. It just means that I know where I need to go, right? Yeah. So I liked what he said too. He said that that leader Dyke, he said he was avoiding, he refused to make a decision, he was disappearing, especially when needed most. And I am so grateful that we have this opportunity to show up, even if it's in our pajamas, not having a great day, and we can say, hey, I'm here. Like, what can I do? What do you need? How many times have Jackie and Lauren and now Emily and Rochelle and Rebecca and the list goes on, where we've all been up, Taylor, we've all been up till midnight or after, like, okay, who do you need me to message? What do you need me to do? What questions can I answer? Who needs help? And so that's what we're doing, right? And I don't have to be in this perfect situation to do that, but I can still show up for my team. And so I love that even when I'm cozy in my bed and I don't necessarily want to get up and go to the computer and start answering questions, that I can do that anyway and not avoid that. So definitely being in front of our teams. So when we are thinking of something that's really on our heart or that we're hearing from our downlines over and over again, that's when you'll see me jump in the team page and do a live. Like, hey, I'm hearing this a lot of questions with digestive issues or detox issues, or this is a great way to use ease or something like that. Like, I'll jump into the team page and do a live and say, hey, here I am in workout clothes, my hair in a ponytail, no makeup on, whatever. It doesn't have to be perfect, but getting in there, because if I'm getting that same question from a couple of people, then I know that there's more of you out there with those questions as well, or that somewhere down the road, those are going to come up. So definitely being in front of our teams and leading and having that high standard. Like, how many times do we see Christina Williams posting a new video to her YouTube and Brittany Howard, and we're like, whoa, like they are in front of their teams, right? And it's showing. Their teams are just growing like crazy. We don't want to lose track of that big picture. So even, it's very up to us as a leader to have that strong vision. And that is something that I have never wavered from. When I saw my first convention, so I joined in December, I was teaching, so I didn't start sharing until about April. And then convention was the end of May that year. And I saw pictures from convention. I saw people on the stage. One, I was kicking myself that I wasn't there. So if you are on this book club tonight, I really need you to register for convention. It's in June. It's in Vegas. We will figure out all of the details. Fallon took hot dogs and a loaf of bread and peanut butter her first convention. First or second, whatever one it was. Maybe the first two. I don't know. But she took her food, a bottle of mustard, hot dogs, bread, and peanut butter. And she made it work because it was important that she was there. So we can figure out the details, the hotel, the food, all of that later. But you do not want to be in my position of going, I should have gone. I should have made this happen. I wish I was there. So I saw that. Then I saw people earning Hawaii. I saw people being like, oh, so-and-so won their first trip to Hawaii, their second trip to Hawaii. I'm like, what is this all about? And when I saw our Pink Power Jewels in Hawaii, I was like, I'm going to be there. I want to do this. I am there. And that vision for that, and that vision for seeing time freedom and being home with my family more and replacing a very highly paid PT job has never wavered. Okay. So now we're just working out the bugs of all the other things. That's a whole nother story. So my vision for where this business can take anyone has never wavered. And I am so grateful for that. And there was something else that I was going to say. It was in relation to work. So at my job, we have been told, okay, these are your productivity standards. This is what you need to accomplish in a day. I need you to see as many people as you can. I need you to do this. I need you to do that. And the thing is that the people making these decisions for us are not doing our job. And it's very frustrating being in that position. And I'm so grateful that in this position as a Plexus ambassador, that I am in your shoes. I am with you. Like, our no two stories are exactly the same, but I'm working. I have 4 kids. Now we're adding homeschooling on. I've been a college professor for years and years and years. I will problem solve to the end of the earth with you on how to fit in your IPA and when to do it and when to watch a video and the list goes on. That's all manageable. We can do it. It's all, what is it? Figure outable, right? How many times have you all heard that from me in chats and whatnot? It's all figure outable. So I'm so grateful that we can do this together and link arms, and that I'm not just sitting here going, well, you need to get 3 joins this month. It's always our goal, right? And then, this was the other thing, the other point I wanted to make, and then I'm going to pass it on. 2 more points, actually. Then I'll pass it on to Emily. But the other thing is that what I've also noticed at work is a lot of times, like, our nurses just settled their contract, but it didn't look so promising and they were thinking they were going to strike. We've had, initially with the coronavirus, lack of PPE and things. Initially, it all got figured out pretty quickly. I will say I'm very grateful for that. But there's been a lot of stressors put on all of us at work, PTs, OTs, the speech therapists, the nurses, the aides, and everything. And what I've observed is that there's a lot of times where people are just sitting around complaining. And if we focused that energy at work into helping the patients and answering the call lights and getting our documentation done and doing what's right for the patient, that a lot of the stress and that negativity would melt away. But as you all know, negativity breeds negativity. And that's why with our Plexus culture within Rock Your Purpose, we are very, very careful to avoid negativity because we want everything to move forward in a positive light. So there are times that the admins, we've deleted comments, we've done different things because we are protecting our team culture. And, I just do my best that when I am with the patient and I'm with that family member and I'm helping someone, that I am focused on them while I'm there. That's all that I can do, right? And when in this environment in Plexus, we can just do what we can do when we are available, and we're always going to focus on those positive things, right? So it's okay. We're working with people, you guys. It's never going to be this perfect scenario of we're going to go, to that next rank every month. But what we want to do is focus on the positive. And Lauren Smithson is really good at this. There's that, I'm going to have to put the link to her recording of her team call in this thread as well, in the team page, where she just really talked about leading ourselves well. And a lot of that, I think, will come right down, it really ties into these chapters. And then the other thing is that David and Goliath, the story of David and Goliath, David he fought Goliath, he killed him. Well, he went on to become a soldier and to lead soldiers, and it was out, and then he became king. But David and his mighty men. Well, guess what? It's going to be Elizabeth and her mighty women, and it's going to be Emily and her mighty women, and it's going to be Jeanette and her mighty team, men and women, and Jackie's and Nicole's and Lauren's and on and on and on. That is why we're here, is because we are bringing everyone together, and we are going to develop a team of mighty people. This business definitely is a personal growth plan with a compensation plan attached. So keep that in mind. Don't lose heart. Keep your eyes ahead. Keep that vision strong, and pass that on. And just, I am really feeling very convicted. I'm like, oh my gosh, I have so many things to work on, right? But that's okay, because we can always grow forward.
Am I up? I just jumping in? Okay. So I have chapter 14, which is the law of buy-in. And for those of you who don't know, Elizabeth and I have been friends for over 20 years, I think, maybe right around 20. And we just became instantaneous friends. And I was in her wedding, like I helped name one of her first kids, not one of her actual first kid, and was there when the baby was born. Like, we were tight. I'm pretty sure I actually had a room at her house, like my room, my bed. It was ready for me whenever, and I was there quite often. And so when she called me in 2017 and she was like, hey, I just started working with this company. I'd never heard of them. And she's like, and these products are awesome. And I'm like, great, sign me up, whatever. Just tell me what to order. I'll take it. And I was bought into her, right? I'm like, if you believe in it, doctor of physical therapy, college professor, mom of 4, like killing life in every area. Like, I don't need to read a thing. Just tell me what to order. Here's my credit card number. And so then, like a lot of people, a couple years later, also when I was using those products, I developed my own testimony. So I lost like 90 pounds, had a lot of amazing health transformations, like great things happened. But at a certain point in time, my husband and I couldn't afford to continue to take the products. And like so many people, I just like had some sort of a situation with my brain and understanding how I could get the products paid for. And so we stopped taking the products, and we would stop for about 2 years. So then I posted a picture on Instagram of like 30 supplements in my hand, and Elizabeth reached out and she's like, what are you doing? Why are you taking all those pills? And so she's like, let's just simplify. So I already had buy-in with her, and I already had buy-in with the products. So I'm like, okay, great. Let's go again. What should I do? And so, I had seen her on like the Emerald vacation thingy. I had seen her at the Ruby deal. Like she posted about all of that stuff. For whatever reason, y'all, it was just not compelling to me. I'm like, cool, you're on a trip. Cool, you're on a trip. And when we talked in July, just in the course of the conversation of trying to streamline my bucket full of supplements, she told me that she was going to be retiring, semi soon from being a PT, which I knew had been like lifelong goal, lifelong dream. So I'm like, what the heck is happening? And she told me that it was because of plexus. And then I'm like, okay, now tell me more. And so she then went in to tell me like she's a Sapphire ambassador, and she sent it to me, and I'm like, hold up, what now? You make how? What? And it's funny because in most jobs, none of us talk about how much money we make, right? It's like this taboo subject, and like we don't talk about it. But if you're asking somebody about a job, the second you find out what the job is, what's your next question? How much do you make? How much are you going to pay me? Because that's what we care about. So at that point, I was like, oh, I am all in. I am all in back on these products. I am all in back on this business. Like I'm doing the trips. I'm getting that luggage. Like I'm going to do it all. And I'm going to do it as fast as I possibly can. Right. It was just the right time for me. So with buy-in, the followers. So in this story, I'm the follower. Elizabeth is the leader. Right. So the follower has to be bought into the leader first. I wasn't going to do a single thing of like my random grad school friend that was like, hey, do you want to try insert name of product? I'm like, no, thank you. It could have been transformative. It could have been life-changing, but I was just like, I'm good. Thanks so much. Bye now. But Elizabeth asked me, and I was like, oh, 100%. Roll around in the dirt. Okay. If you say that'll help me, I'm in. I'll give it a go. Because I'm bought in, right? So in order for that to happen, the leaders, we all have to be bought in first. We have to be bought into the products. We have to be bought into the vision. We have to be bought in to the company, to the opportunity. We have to be bought into the teams, to this whole community and dynamic. And when we're bought into it, people can't help but catch it. They can't help but see it and be like, wait a minute, what are you guys doing all the time? Or why are you so happy? Do you know how many people have asked me recently, like, you're glowing. Why are you so happy? And I'm like, I'm just really happy. I'm just doing this thing I love, and I don't have a terrible job I hate anymore. It's great. I have all these new people who are super encouraging and wonderful, and it's like nothing I've ever experienced before. And no, it's not a cult, because I was almost in one of those a long time ago. This is not one of them. That's a real story. It's fine. You guys know. We all hear the things. Okay, so we have to have our vision first. Then they can buy into us. Now, I wish that our belief in the products was enough, right? I think all of us probably are like, if you guys only knew, if you just only knew. But the problem is we're not going to get anybody bought in on the products. Well, that's maybe not true. Vast majority of people are not going to get bought in on just the benefits in the products. The vast majority of the people who are going to start with us as a person who's going to support them in a vulnerable journey with their health, they're going to get bought in on who we are. So we are actually the first product that we're sharing and that we're promoting, right? And so in order to do that and to do it effectively, who said I'm the best? Thanks, Lauren Smithson. You guys are awesome. In order to do that, we have to have credibility. All right. Now, how do we build credibility? Well, there's a lot of ways, but I'm going to tell you 4. The first way is that we demonstrate compassion. That means when you see your friend who posts about, I'm in grad school, I'm exhausted, I have a newborn, you don't jump on her and be like, hey, I got a drink. It's going to help you a lot. It's going to make you feel so much better. No. We demonstrate compassion for a human being and we connect with her on what's going on in her life, in her grad school, in her baby, and we encourage her. And we have a genuine, authentic relational connection. If you guys remember a couple years ago, Facebook literally changed like their whole vision of what Facebook was. And they're like, it's about community. It's a community space. So we have to assume that virtually every single person on there is wanting connection. They're wanting community. They're wanting to have more of a relationship with even strangers than they're capable of having with people that are close in their lives. So when we demonstrate compassion and we're about people first, products second or third or later, right? But people always first, 100%. Then we are going to build genuine connections. And so it's an ongoing interaction. And I really believe that timing is everything. Like with me and Elizabeth, we even just talked about this the other night. Like, she's like, I actually wasn't ready to fully support you diving all in when she started because she was like a silver when we had that very first conversation. Where she's at now as a sapphire, there's this big, long path and a ton of resources so that she can just throw stuff at me and I can grab it and run, and keep going. Timing was really crucial for when I started my journey. The third thing is confidence. So I'm a naturally confident person, right? I'm an Enneagram 8. I'm a red in the plexus color world. And it's just natural for me. I don't get scared about talking in public. Like my husband was like, okay, and turn off your video because you don't want to see yourself talking because that makes everybody nervous. And I'm like, do you know me? I'm not nervous about seeing myself or talking with people. And so, but I will tell y'all how much I struggled. Elizabeth knows this, how much I struggled to share and talk about plexus. I was so like sick in my stomach. Like, I don't want to write a post about it. I'm scared to share because I was so worried about what other people were going to think of me. And it was like literally a mind trip for me that I'm like, I don't care what anybody thinks about me. Like, what is going on with me? And I had to like dig deep and like pray and seek the Lord and like get over my fear of man and get over that. I didn't even know it was there, but apparently it was there. And I really cared about what people thought of me. And that I was going to be working with the dreaded MLM, right? So me having confidence and just making a decision every day or every day that I share in a story or in a post, that I'm like, I know my testimony. Think about it like the parallel of like sharing our faith, right? You can be scared to share your faith. You can have a moment where you're like, I know that I know that I know, but you're still kind of can be nervous to share or to talk about it. And so I had to just remind myself, I know what my testimony is. I know the experience that I've had. I know that the business is legitimate and that scheme is nowhere a part of this entire world. So whatever anybody else thinks, they're entitled to their opinions, but it doesn't make it truth. The fourth thing is competence. So when we connect with people and we show compassion, we share with confidence, and then we demonstrate competence. So I feel like Elizabeth is like forever just like spitting game of like every single thing under the sun and why the things do the things that they do and they metabolically and they da 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 da. And I'm like, oh, I gotta step up my game. I gotta know more. And so I'm always trying to figure out like how to know more. So my goal right now is core products. I need to have a deep dive. I need to really, really know it. Peripheral, further out products, I need to have 2 to 3 things that I'm like, boom, boom, boom. I can spit those out. If anybody asks me questions, like I can answer you why with confidence and with my own awareness of like, I actually do know where that information come from. I didn't just make it up in my head, right? So life, y'all, just like plexus. It's a people business. There is nothing in life that is not going to be about people. So love it or hate it, it is what it is. Like we can't escape it. And we have products that are created to help people. We have a business opportunity that is amazing to help people. Now we know, every one of us, the downside of a people business is that there can be a lot of hand holding, a lot of reminding, some coaxing, some hair pulling out. There's things that happen when we're working with people because people are people, right? The upside is that people, when they are bought in, will be loyal. They will follow you. They will trust you. They will respect you. They will reach out to you. They will share and they will talk about you. They will partner with you. And so we basically have to we earn our buy-in and then we maintain it. And I said it before, I'm going to say it one more time. We start with our belief. The days that I waver, the days that I'm like, oh, is this going to work? I don't know if it's going to work. Are the days that I'm like, I need to watch some documentaries. I need to read some stuff. I need to boost myself. It's the same thing. When we waver in our faith, what do? You stir yourself up in the Lord. You read the word, you worship, you pray. You're like, remind myself, wash it back over me, because I'm around and surrounded by just so many things that I'm like losing track of it. So I have to make sure that my buy-in, my personal buy-in, is strong. Then in all my interactions, I am always working to demonstrate compassion, authenticity, and offer a connection. I'm tempted because I'm always like, oh, this would be so great. It'd be so great for you. This would be so great for you. And I'm like, hold, just wait. It just might not be the moment. Like, just give it a minute. It's okay. Like, don't pounce on every single opportunity. And then we share with confidence and you give the vision. You know, Elizabeth for me is like vision, whether it's product vision, it's solution vision. Like for Elizabeth, she's just like, ain't no thing. It don't matter what it is. We'll figure it out. And that confidence and that vision for what can happen and what has happened is always translating to me, and I'm sure to every single person on her team and all around her. So we share with confidence, then we prove our competence. We just continue to do that. And once they're bought in, repeat. We do the same thing. And the best example that I can give, I know in the book he talked about Gandhi, who's amazing. Shout out, my husband's Indian. We just got a Gandhi book from his parents for our family. Special moment. The very best example though that I can think of, I literally, like, as I was just like thinking through this, giving my 4-year-old a bath, I'm talking to my husband about it, and I'm telling him the chapter, because I'm like, I'm going to tell you what the chapter is, and then I'm going to talk about how I kind of want to talk about it. And then I just said to him, I was like, I mean, it's like Jesus. I'm like, didn't it matter what Jesus did, right? There are so many people that saw every miracle that he demonstrated right in front of their eyes. And they're like, he's not the Lord. No, that's not God. And then there were people that were like, shipwreck, prison, death, martyrdom, sign me up, because they were bought into him. They believed in him. And the people that we are working with, that we're trying to help, we're trying to support, when we can demonstrate our love for them, our compassion for their life and their situation, when we truly, sincerely connect with them, then we offer solutions when they're ready, and whatever that looks like for people. Those people are going to be bought into us for life. They're going to be the people that are like, whatever the problems are, they're like, it's fine. I'll keep going. We can keep doing this. Because once you have buy-in and you work to maintain it, and you've got the relationship, you're not going to lose it. And I just think that we obviously will continue to build and build and build based on that.
Thank you for sharing. I love that. I am going to, I think I can do this. I'm going to stop the recording for the presentation part, and then I'll restart it for the discussion part. Cool? Okay. Oh. Jackie, do you want to do that part, or do you want to give me the host back? Okay, you do it.